Hello Pre-AP Geometry students. I'm going to help you in this video with number 3 on your proof worksheet number 2. If you haven't already gotten your blue sheet out, pause the video right now because you need that blue sheet. You need to have it handy as we're working on these proofs. Alright, so we're going to take a look at number 3 in this video, and I'm not going to work the whole thing. I'm just going to give you a few hints to get you going. So number 3, we are given this piece of information that ray BX bisects angle ABC. So look at the diagram. This ray BX, we're assuming that it is an angle bisector. We're also going to assume that the measure of angle ABX is 45 degrees. All right, so looking at our proof, the first statement we have is that the ray BX bisects angle ABC. Now I need a reason or a justification why that's true. Well, here's the reason. The reason why we can say that ray BX bisects angle ABC is just because we said so. That's why we're going to assume that it's true. We're going to say, let's just say that this is true, that ray BX is an angle bisector. Now, we can say all those words I just said in one word. If we just say given, that's what given means. Given means we're just going to assume that to be true. All right, now often you'll see if there's more than one piece of given information here, you'll see the second statement right away, the second given statement, but we're not going to do that this time. We're going to stick with this idea that I have a ray angle bisector, and we are going to go ahead and make a conclusion based on that. So if you look at your blue sheet and look at the definition of an angle bisector, it says a ray is an angle bisector if and only if it divides an angle into two congruent pieces. So we're assuming that ray BX is an angle bisector, so we can conclude that angle ABX is congruent to angle XBC, and the reason why is because of the definition of angle bisector. Definition of angle bisector. All right, now if I have two angles that are congruent, we've just said that angle ABX is congruent to XBC. What justifies the fact that their measures are equal? Well, would you please look at your definition of congruent angles on your blue sheet? It says two angles are congruent if and only if their measures are equal. So if I have established that I have congruent angles, I can conclude that their measures are equal, and that's the definition of congruent segments. Definition of congruent angles. All right, now this number 4 is your second piece of given information. Why is the measure of angle ABX equal to 45 degrees? Because we say it is. We're just assuming that to be true. So we write given for our reason. Okay, if you look at step 3 says that the measure of angle ABX and the measure of angle XBC are one and the same. So what I'm going to do in step 5 is just rewrite that step, but I'm going to replace the measure of angle ABX. We're rewriting step 4, and I'm going to replace the measure of angle ABX with what it's equal to. The measure of angle ABX and the measure of angle XBC are the same thing, so I can make that replacement when I have two equal things and I replace one with the other. That is the substitution property. Remember, when you abbreviate substitution and it's a substitution property of equality, please put SUBST so I know you mean substitution and not subtraction. All right, now look at step 6. It's talking about the measure of angle ABX plus the measure of angle XBC totaling the measure of angle ABC. So look at your diagram. What step 6 is saying is that the measure of angle ABX plus the measure of angle XBC, if we add those two measures together, we get the total measure of the whole big angle. That is the angle addition postulate. Please don't mix up the angle addition postulate with the segment addition postulate. You wouldn't use segment addition postulate here because we're not talking about segments. We're talking about angles. Okay, now I think I'm going to leave you to finish this. I'll just give you a couple of hints. Notice that in step 6, we're saying that the sum of these two angles is the same as the measure of angle ABC. In step 4, we said that the measure of ABX was the same as 45. So can't I rewrite step 6 but replace the measure of angle ABX with what it's equal to? And the same thing here. Take the measure of XBC and replace it with what it's equal to. That's just going to be the substitution property of equality again. Step 8, we've combined these and replaced 45 plus 45 with what it is equal to. Definition substitution property of equality. And then last but not least, once we have established that the measure of angle ABC is 90, we can justify that angle ABC is a right angle. Look at your blue sheet and look at the definition of right angle and see that step 9 can be justified with that definition. All right, so there's your help with number 3.